You felt it this morning. A scratchy throat, maybe a headache. So you reached into your medicine cabinet, grabbed a pill, swallowed it with water, and moved on with your day. You didn't even think twice. But that pill, that one small white tablet, contained something your ancestors would have literally killed for. And the story of how humans survived sickness before that pill existed is stranger, darker, and more remarkable than anything they teach in school. Getting sick 50,000 years ago wasn't just uncomfortable, it was a death sentence, unless your tribe did something about it. And what they did will change the way you see medicine forever. Let's start with something that should be impossible. In 2017, researchers excavating a burial site in Shanidar cave in northern Iraq made a discovery that changed what we know about Neanderthals. FYI, Neanderthals are our ancient human relatives who lived in Europe and Asia until about 40,000 years ago.
However, they found the remains of a man who had lived to around 40 to 50 years old, which is pretty old by Neanderthal standards. But what shocked scientists wasn't his age, it was the state of his bones. His right arm had been amputated. He was partially blind. He had severe arthritis throughout his spine and joints. He could not have hunted. He could not have gathered food. By every measure of survival, he should have died decades before he did. His tribe fed, cared for him, protected him for years. People cared for each other. His oldest evidence culture in the Eastern Mediterranean, dating back roughly 12,000 years.
One burial stood out.
The body was a human flesh. This hole with a range of over 52 ashes. Parts of an owl, a leopard, a wild boar, a cow, and the foot of a human being. The researchers concluded she was almost certainly a shaman. The most carefully buried person at the site was the healer. These people weren't just mixing herbs. They were the memory of their community. They carried the accumulated medical knowledge of dozens of generations, passed down through practice, story, and ritual. Lose the shaman, and the tribe lost its entire medical library in a single death. And then there was fever. Modern medicine spent decades trying to suppress fever aggressively. Ice baths, medications to drive the temperature down immediately. It turns out, this was wrong. Fever is not your body malfunctioning. It is your immune system turning up the heat to kill pathogens that can't survive above a certain temperature. Ancient humans understood this intuitively, not in scientific terms. Ethnographic studies of living hunter-gatherer groups show a consistent pattern. When someone develops a fever, they are moved closer to the fire and kept warm, not cooled down. Their bodies are allowed to burn. Only in the last century did we discover the immunological mechanism that explains why that was the right instinct all along. Your ancestors didn't have germ theory, but 300,000 years of dying from infection taught them what worked. The knowledge was coded not in books, but in behavior. Here's what makes all of this quietly devastating. Researchers estimate that roughly 25% of children in ancient hunter-gatherer societies died before the age of 5, mostly from infection and disease. And yet, the species survived. It survived because of the birch mushroom and the willow bark, because of the shaman and the trepanation, because of the tribe that refused to abandon the man with no arm and failing eyes in Shanidar cave. The next time you swallow an aspirin, you are completing a line that stretches back 50,000 years. Back to someone crouched in a cave, chewing the bark of a tree, not knowing why it helped, only knowing that it did. We didn't invent medicine. We inherited it. And most of this knowledge was discovered accidentally. No laboratories, no clinical trials, no understanding of bacteria or viruses.
Just human beings trapped in a brutal cycle. Someone gets sick. Someone tries something. Most of the time it fails, but occasionally it doesn't. And when it worked, the information survived longer than the person who discovered it. That's what medicine originally was. Not science. Memory. Even now, humanity is constantly testing, observing, adjusting, and passing knowledge forward. The difference is that today, the experiments are hidden behind white walls and scientific language. But underneath it, it's still the same species trying to survive long enough to understand itself.